Hello, I'm Sam Neill, all the way from New Zealand, welcoming you to the Graham Norton Show.
Right, time to meet our virtual guest tonight. He's the star of Jurassic Park, Peaky Blinders and Hunt for the Wilder People. It's Sam Neill, everybody! Hey! Hello, Sam Neill.
Lovely to see you, Graham Norton.
Well, I like the look of your kitchen.
Yeah.
It's entirely devoted to alcohol. Yeah, you'd be very welcome here and very much at home, I would think.
So this is your vineyard, is it?
Yes, it is. That's a lovely morning. It's about 9 o'clock, and do you want to see outside?
Oh, yes. So this is New Zealand. Oh, wow.
Sunny day.
You should have had strangers kissing or something, just to really show off. It's sunny and we don't have COVID.
I feel slightly weird talking about it to you because I know the UK is in such dire straits that we have 3 cases in the community and the whole country is very nervous. So it seems odd by comparison, doesn't it? But we're a little bit on edge at the moment.
And this place presumably looks familiar to you, Jimmy Nesbitt.
Looks very familiar to you. Hi, Sam.
Hello, Jimmy.
Yeah. No, I met Sam when I was over doing The Hobbit, and then I was lucky enough to spend some time with Sam down in the vineyard, down in the South Island. It's beautiful. But I spent a day with Sam on the farm. We spent the morning shoveling shit. We are actors.
Good.
And then we actually had a bit of a wine tasting competition in there, I think.
Do you have any recollection?
I do. First of all, we wallowed in compost. It's an Irish thing that we have in common. And then smelling sweetly, we then had a taste off, and he won. It was really irritating.
Yeah.
And now, Sam Neill, Tom Jones, you've met.
Yes.
Do you remember where?
I do, yes, at the Greek Theatre. It was at a Sting concert.
Oh, wow.
And Sam was backstage. And I asked him what he was doing, what are you up to? And he said, well, I'm doing this movie about, there's these dinosaurs in it. But you don't actually see them. He said, I'm acting, I'm looking up and doing this, that and the other, but they're going to be put in later on. So I don't know what's going to happen with it. Jurassic Park.
I tell you. We know what happened to that, yeah.
I was delighted to meet Tom, and I found myself in a circle where there was Tom Jones, the great Tom Jones, Herbie Hancock, the immaculate Herbie Hancock, Sting, and myself. I thought, this is a super group. This has got to be a super group. But I'd be the sort of joke drummer, that it's always the drummer.
I met a few of those.
Yeah.
Well, Sam Neill, you've got a movie to tell us about. This is Rams. It stars yourself and the Australian actor Michael Caton. And this is very close to your heart, I think, this film. So tell us about it. It's a lovely film.
Yeah, it was been on release in Australia and New Zealand. And I'm getting such wonderful feedback from it. People say, I feel so much better having seen this film. So it's gratifying to get that feedback. But it has its genesis in a beautiful Icelandic film, which was actually rather grim. Our film is very different. It's about 2 brothers who haven't spoken for 40 years, and who love sheep. There's a small romance in it with Miranda Richardson, who's an old friend of mine. But it's mostly about sheep and men and community. And it's rather touching and lovely and a little sad, but also very sort of heartwarming. It's a lovely film.
It is, because it is that thing where the tone of it shifts. Like, sometimes it's really tragic and then it can be very funny and whimsical and quirky. It's a really special thing.
Yeah, and for lovers of sheep, there's no better film, I think,
Rams, it's available on all digital platforms from next Friday. And we've got a clip, Sam. This is you settling in with your new housemate. And how hard is that? You can't train sheep, can you?
You can to an extent, but a sheep is an animal of a limited capacity for... you don't see sheep in circuses, for instance.
And presumably you liked spending time with them because you have a lot of livestock, don't you?
Yes, I have goats and sheep and cattle and a lot of chickens. You know, these terrible battery farms, which I thoroughly disapprove of. One was going bust the other day, and there were a lot of chickens looking for homes. I already have about 24 chickens, so now I'm up to 36, I think, at last count. It's at least 36. So there's a gang of them out there, and they all think I'm wonderful. So it's like having Tom Jones fans, actually.
Very good. Billy Piper, you too have joined the world of chicken donors.
Yeah, we have chickens. We have 2 chickens.
Just the 2?
Just the 2.
What are they called?
One's changed its name a few times, Bright Bomber, and then it was Bob, and then the notorious chicken, Cockerel, both cockerels, wanted layers, got cockerels, it's like pot luck. His name is Heavy Metal.
Wait a minute, so these are the 2 cockerels?
This is one cockerel in different poses.
OK.
And this is a competitive bird. You can enter them for competitions. They have amazing plumage.
I don't think that's what happens. I think...
But it's actually...
I don't think that's a competition anyone wants to do.
But it looks fantastic.
It does.
But it's awful.
Oh.
It's a horrible, aggressive cockerel. He's become a real problem.
And loud.
Very loud, but sort of swoops down at you, chases you around the garden, puts his wing out and sort of circles you. And now it's doing this. And apparently I said to this guy down the road, like, what am I going to do about this? And he's like, you just got to show him who's boss.
But he's so gorgeous. How could you possibly discipline?
I think he's very frustrated because I think he wanted this competition life, and he said he got asked in lockdown.
What he might like is a hen. I mean, I'm not a vet, but that might cheer him up.
I can't take any more risks.
And Sam Neill, you've talked about your animals on the show before, and I hesitate to ask, am I still alive, Sam?
You're not only alive, you're the #1 bull now.
Woohoo!
Very disappointing. Oh, boy.
I think we've got there.
Bursting with masculinity. Look at it.
Wow. That's great, Norton. Now, it's less good news, I believe, for James Nesbitt.
Well, Jimmy Nesbitt. Jimmy served us well, but he got old and very arthritic.
Oh, no.
And,
Has he not made it? Is he no longer with us?
He's no longer with us. He had to be put down. He was in quite a lot of pain. And we gave him an honourable burial down at the end of the farm. A huge grave. I mean, it's the size of a house.
Well, it'll take one from me.
Wait a minute. You dug a hole for that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can't even dig him out.
Don't they explode?
What?
Isn't that a thing? Don't wild...
Our animal expert, Andy's asked a question.
Does livestock explode after it's expired? Is that urban myth? Or rural myth?
It's a very urban myth.
I made it up.
Jimmy Nesbitt in his prime was something to behold, though, Sam. Is that all right?
Yeah, it's a fantastic bull. And I couldn't, in all conscience, with a distinguished name like Jimmy, I couldn't really turn him into sausages. So here's a grave and a little marker on him. So R.I.P. dear old Jimmy.
Have you got a Tom Jones yet? Surely Tom Jones is ripe for the farm.
And I'm Welsh.
Tom, what would you like?
God.
I've got a couple of new rams who are unnamed, as a matter of fact.
Well, hello.
All right,
And very quickly, Sam, Andy, I know you're a big fan of Jurassic Park.
Definitely.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Everyone loves. Hey. Because the new one finished? Do we know when that's going to see the light of day?
Yeah, well, it was supposed to be May of this year, but it's been put back for a year, so it's May of 22. Yeah, and gosh, time's gone so weird these last few months, hasn't it? Yeah, May of 22, and we shot it all at Pinewood. So I spent most of last year in England, and it's going to be huge. So hopefully there's still some cinemas open and people want to get back to the movies.
Well, hopefully you can come and tell us about it in May 2022. That'd be great.
To see you again.
Thank you very much for getting us up so early in lovely New Zealand and talking to us. Rams is available on all digital platforms next Friday. Sam Neill, everybody!
Bye, Sam.
Bye-bye, Sam!